Earlier this week, the FCT Minister, Nyesom had a parley with journalists right here in the FCT. And one of the things he was asked was what happens with his mandate secretaries? We hardly hear from them. We hardly see them do interviews. Well, after that interview, we had a meeting with the FCT Women's Secretariat. And the mandate secretary for FCT Women Affairs joins us this week on Dateline Abuja. She's talking about all the projects in her office and women in politics as the FCT prepares for the elections next year. We'll be bringing you that during the course of the program. But first, we'll be doing a breakdown of the major stories this week from the nation's presidency. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Magwa. Let's begin with that update on the major stories this week from the nation's capital. There was a media parley between the FCT minister and journalists. The Tigress came to the FCT and received a lot of gifts from the president. All these and more this week on our Abuja Wrap.
President Bola Tinubu has conferred the national honor of the Officer of the Order of the Niger on the 2015 FIBA Women's Afro Basketball Champions, Nigeria women's basketball team, the Tigress. Making the announcement on behalf of the President, Vice President Kashim Shettima praised the team for their unity and the lessons they have brought home, symbolizing the promise of unity in a diverse nation. He also announced the award of $100,000 for each of the players and $50,000 to members of the technical team, among other accolades. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom says the forthcoming Rivers State local government election is constitutional, stating that it will allow for the smooth running of government after the reinstatement of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. As is his usual practice during his monthly media chats, he begins by providing updates about developments in the FCT, and top on his list is the education sector and the efforts of his administration for the rehabilitation of schools. He also disclosed plans of his administration to resume the sealing up of buildings owing the FCT ground rent following suspension of the exercise on May 26, 2025 due to President Bola Tinubu's intervention. President Bola Tinubu has extended his condolences to President John Mahama, the government and people of Ghana, following the helicopter crash that claimed the lives of Defense Minister Edward Omane Boma, Environment Minister Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, and 6 others. President Tinubu assured President Mahama and all Ghanaians that the thoughts and prayers of the government and people of Nigeria are with them during this time of profound national loss. President Bola Tinubu has directed the expedited rollout of free healthcare access initiative for low-income retirees under the Contributory Pension Scheme, CPS, describing it as a critical component of social protection and dignity in retirement. He also called for the prompt implementation of long overdue pension increases and a minimum pension guarantee, which will provide a safety net for the most vulnerable pensioners under the CPS. According to a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the President gave the directives after receiving a briefing from Ms. Omolola Oloraron, the Director General of the National Pension Commission, PENCOM. President Tinubu further mandated the PENCOM DG to urgently resolve the long-standing police pension issue, emphasizing that members of the police force who serve and protect the nation deserve to retire with dignity and peace of mind.
Dr. Dayo Laniyi joins us today on the program. Well, she's fondly called Auntie Dayo or Pastor Dayo. Very old hand right here in the nation's capital. And she is the mandate secretary for the FCT Women's Secretariat. So what is a mandate secretary? Well, she tells us it's the same thing as a commissioner. So basically a commissioner for women affairs in the FCT. What job has she done since she came into office? What are the challenges? And what's the plan for FCT women, especially in politics, as we get ready for the area council elections next year? Please watch this. Dr. Dayo Laniyi, welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you very much for being here.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, and it's a date.
How are you doing all of this, first of all? Because I was looking through everything that you do. Wife, pastor, pastor's wife, mother, Hope Initiative, Mandate Secretary, FCT Women. How?
Politician.
Politician.
And evolving into many. I'll tell you the truth. I think that's one of my most asked questions. And I've always said it from a place of faith. That, okay, they say, how do you cope? And I say, I don't. I'm in God's hands. And now putting that into practical dynamics, what that means is every woman is called to her place of activation and driving the pursuit of her dream as purpose, articulating it through the opportunities, platforms of her professionalism, her network, and her net worth. But most importantly, becoming the very visible expression of being a voice in her time and to her community, being a driver of change. So you take it as a challenge that becomes a life we live every day. Every woman has a story. Every mother has got her prayer. Every sister has her dream. But what is most important for the woman is to understand that you're the matrix by which nations are birthed, generations also are conceived, and most importantly, you become the bastion of whatever life and life's track chooses for you.
It's fantastic, and you've been at this for a very long time. If people who are not old in the FCT probably wouldn't understand what I mean, but if you've been old in the FCT, you would know that Auntie Dio, which is what all of us have been calling you for years, has been at the forefront of a lot of things, championing a lot of women's causes, especially when it comes to politics. So let me start off with Mandate Secretary, FCT Women's Secretariat. What does that even mean?
Well, first and foremost, that's the unique nomenclature for an honorable commissioner, unique to the Federal Capital Territory.
Yes.
Every other commissioner in Nigeria, in the 36 states, is referred to as honorable commissioner. We are honorable mandate secretaries. There are 11 of us, of which I am one.
Yes.
There are 11 mandates, of which the women affairs is, well, we were the second, we were the youngest, we were the newest as at the dispensation of the renewed hope expression in the FCT with His Excellency, the Honorable Minister Barrister Nyesom Wike. So after 48 years, for the first time in the FCT, we have a state, an FCT referred to as like state level Ministry of Women Affairs. And then after us came youth. So now we have women, and then we also have a mandate secretariat for youth. Now, being a mandate secretary, therefore, you are an honorable commissioner. And the first in 48 years makes me pioneer, building legacy and setting up foundation, which over the last year and 7 months, from the 24th of October 2024, had launched me into my, did I say 24? 23 into years, has launched me into a new space and place of defining my potential, refining, as it were, my gait when it comes to talents, as well as my very unique way of being, the brand persona that I am and I've evolved. So it's a pivot. It's a pivot with a very steep trajectory coming into political appointeeship and this office and this assignment for the Federal Capital Territory Administration after coming and arriving into Abuja as a youth corper 30-something plus years ago.
Oh, goodness.
Is something that truly is a story to be told, not on this, but it's a story that shows that we are all called, like I said, to our time and our climb. I never knew that the Federal Capital Territory, which coming from Lagos was a village destination when I came, it was a no-go place. I actually came to change my primary NYSC from Abuja to Lagos. Actually, there was supposed to be some change, but I decided I wasn't changing it. I understood this to be a call from God, and I believe that even in this assignment, this is what it is.
What does the assignment entail?
So assignment is to, as the Honorable Commissioner of Women Affairs of the Federal Capital Territory, to set up both my policy, the implementation, and the advocacy, as well as the administration of everything and anything to do with women. But it's not just about women. It's about women in all references, adolescent girls, women with disabilities, children, and also with an emphasis on leaving no woman and no community behind, where women are the implicated, vulnerable cluster socioeconomically. So it's all about human development through woman-emphasized development. And what I say is, when you invest in a woman, you don't just invest in her as a gender, you invest in her as a human capital project.
Let's look at projects that are being, before we go on the break,
No problem.
let's take a look at some of the projects that have been implemented by your office.
All right, so projects in my office. Let me start with what I was doing yesterday. Yesterday, I was implementing the project of the Renewed Hope Initiative of Her Excellency, the First Lady, on the agricultural support program that across the 36 states and the FCT has invested 68.9 million naira per state in each one of these referenced areas, the Federal Capital Territory. And for us, we're pushing out through Kuje with what we call the Kuje Pilot Project. So what it covers is women agricultural support, youth agricultural support, the Every Home a Garden, which is Her Excellency's flagship project from last year, the competition, getting every woman to come online and in line with food security through growing a garden in your home that grows food for you to eat, food for you to share, community, and food for you to sell, build an economic track. So these 4 engagements now have been situated and taken over by the Ministry of Agriculture through the Office of the Honorable Minister of State, and are now being implemented across the nation. For me, as the coordinator of the Federal Capital Territory RHI scheme, amongst other schemes, yesterday we were there working with the First Lady of Kuje, the wife of the Area Council Chairman, and working with the whole across the reference, what they call it, of women with disabilities who are farmers, youth, students, working with all of this, setting up fund. We resuscitated a 15-year redundant farm, demonstration farm of the Women Affairs that was under the Social Development Secretariat for 15 years, redundant. The government had built it, 5 fish ponds, overhead tank and everything, but it took this dispensation of Renewed Hope Initiative, of the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President through Mr. Project, the Honorable Minister, to set up not just the infrastructure of roads, but the infrastructure of human development through building capacity for women through the agro-value chain, collaborating with Her Excellency's project, RHI. Through RHI, we've worked with the Elderly Support Scheme, where 2 years in a row, provision has been made. At first it was 150 for 1,000 naira for 250 elderly citizens. And this support brings an intervention which has its own support from the state. So we provide food, we provide medical care, all of those things along with that. Just a special day of celebrating elders. And you know, Her Excellency always says, or reminds us, I am the eldest First Lady ever to come into office. So she has a sensibility when it comes to that care. And it's a care that doesn't just bring respect, it also brings an intervention for a lot of these people who either through retirement have been forgotten, sidelined, or are just because of conditions around them in the place where they need food. So there's that, there's social mobilization. We've done 1,000 petty farmers, petty traders, 50,000 naira economic empowerment, partnering with the SDG office of Princess Adeflere. We have provided generating sets, grinders, deep freezers and cookers. And we didn't just provide them. We have a full database. I was able to go and do a coverage of each one of those women. What are you doing with it? And that's the most empowering story to tell about empowerment. When you see where it has...
We'll get to that story in a bit, because I actually want to hear that. We want to be able to be granular when it comes to development and see what impact it's having.
Then we can't stay in the studio. I would like to take Kayla out. I want to take you to the field because this is studio. You need to set up studio in the field. Come and meet this student. Come and see that this is real.
Put a riser somewhere in the village and then
my dear, I'm not going to give you a riser. I'm going to sit around the cooking spot and you know what? Do you know that 886 communities and counting in the FCT in 62 wards? 6 area councils, 17 tribal chiefdoms, 170 tribal wards with all of their wardoms and their matriarchs, beginning with the wife of the owner of Abaji as the chairperson of the traditional council of queendoms in the FCT.
We'll have to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be breaking down a lot more. Please stay with us on Dateline Abuja. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Dateline Abuja. If you've just joined us, we're speaking with the mandate secretary for the FCT Women's Secretariat. Well, I call her pastor, but Dr. Dayo Laniyi. Thank you so much again for being with us on the program.
Thank you, Kayla.
All right, so let's talk about more of these things because that's a lot of area to cover. That's a lot of communities. That's a lot of women.
It is.
When it comes to women in politics in the FCT, I know that's something you're very passionate about. You even ran for senator.
Yes, I did, and I rocked this city. I should state it, I'm the first woman who have come up with the highest number of votes, second position, and understand, rigged. But even with the rigging, I gave them what they needed to
Well, you say you were rigged?
Yeah, it's part of
Who
the
rigged
ecosystem.
you, the Labour Party?
How can you say LP rigged me? LP, it was primaries,
Yes.
it was not.
Okay, so it was the primaries.
It was primaries,
Okay.
It wasn't the general elections. And that's...
Are you still going to run for senator again?
I know that's a big question I keep being asked, but I think the big assignment right now is to run to do the will of those who put me in my principal position. If at their instruction I'm to do something other, it will come from them. I'm a woman under authority.
I don't know where we have this feeling from. There's something in the grapevine.
I don't know what grapevine that is. I don't know what grapevine that is because this is the sincere God's truth. Like, I'm a woman under authority, and you can see I'm thoroughly, it's not just about enjoying. You know, why do you want to run? To make a difference with the difference you bring. Now, I didn't win this position by election. I got here by commendation and selection. I got here, and this is why I tell women who are into politics.
The women in politics in the FCT has been pretty abysmal over the years. We don't have a single female area council chairman.
Okay, if you're talking about
yes, I'm talking about elected position.
Yes.
We don't have a single female area council chairman. When it comes to elections, I understand when it comes to appointments, of course, the FCT minister has been fantastic. Yes. Look at the entire secretariat.
The first female head of service who was a PERMSEC was the director of gender when I came in to my assignment.
When it comes to appointments, he's been fantastic. I mean, his deputy is also a female.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of women in appointed positions. But when it comes
there's
to
still not enough, but there's more. You know, the other day, definitely, and without any question, the other day the Honorable Minister FCT had a meeting with this group that came in to do the the Abuja walk project, the big one.
Yes.
And I looked at everyone on their side, and these are global entrepreneurs and everything, not one woman. And I looked on our side and I said, there is FCT, there's an administration with a cabinet. There was myself, there was the mandate secretary for health, Dr. Adit Olakbo, there was Madam Mama Africa, who is one of FCT's foremost farmers, even as a female farmer. Mama Africa, Grace Adayelo, she was there. And I looked at us and I said, that's what it's all about. We need to be able to bring women to the table. Be able to not just bring women to the table, giving them seats, but giving them that unique collateral opportunity to begin to engage and to deliver. You're talking about the abysmal representations that we have.
In elective,
patriarchy is still a very real challenge, for which now, as you can see, when it comes to the HB 1349, the House bill, we're looking at reworking the approach to navigating and negotiating political position. Strategy of engagement has to change. And for the women in politics, That is what is happening right now.
The
that is
woman,
why with the seats, we see Honorable Kafiat, we see the distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe.
Yes.
We are able to see women now being repurposed into a different assent and approach to engaging. So the issue of the special seats, it's not about saying, oh, we want women who are not qualified to come into position. No, what we're saying is if we're going to wait for women to get into those seats by election, in the next 30 years, we are still trying to get there. It can't be her. Power is not given. Power is what you go and contest and get. So we have to come by a different approach, which demands that while the polity is still challenged by quote-unquote patriarchy, we find another route, we find another track with which we're able to posture, we're able to present and bring women into the rescaled, not rescaled, but it's like resetting the model of constitutional engagement so that we can make decisions that together in the National Assembly begin to carry the voice, the accent of the woman, not outside of the bill.
I want to go back to something we were talking about in part one of this conversation, where we're looking at, you know, the mandate of your office and some of the projects that are being implemented right now. You know, you mentioned quite a number of projects. What would you say has been most challenging when it comes to achieving a lot of the projects? Because dealing with women, it's money that's
Let me tell you,
money.
Any transformation you want to see does not have a gender definition to it. It's this, it's budgets, budget lines, being able to create budget lines, being able to work with data. I don't just want to come to collaborating partners. We're doing something with the First Lady's office. First Lady is so thorough about following through numbers with figures, with the intervention and the investment. And she owes no one. The RHI is very, very rigorous in terms of following through the audit of any investments being made. With UN Women right now, we have something we're doing with the Akpu women in Great Cheddar.
Akpu?
Akpu.
Okay.
Akpu is a big value chain in FCT set up by Mama Godea 12 years ago. She set this thing up, and from there you have the Greater Cheddar movement, the Acrosal intervention just a little while up. But those women who started it, I found them on the International Women's Day 2 years ago. And through the intervention of His Excellency the Honorable Minister and the Office of the SGF, actually, because there was a support that came through the SSA Atika for the intervention for these Akpu women that had been, they had been defrauded of an adache, what do you call it, the community, exactly. Ajo, thank you. That they had put together. Someone had come and they do these Ponzi things where you get women to contribute. Can you imagine? Over 500 of them contributed to 200 naira. And these people went and never came back, telling them that what they contributed, by the time they do, they are going to come back and give them 20,000 naira. It's some ridiculous thing that they believed. They put the money together and they worked. But through the intervention of the FCT, we were able now to, one, have that money returned to them.
Oh, they caught the people?
No, we didn't catch the people, not yet. While that is going
Well, you returned their money.
And they were able to resuscitate. Now, the UN Women has also come on board, building them a borehole. We've got them a shed we're building. Now, the WASH being SDG 6 in terms of water, sanitation, hygiene, we're bringing a full intervention in there. Sometime this year, Her Excellency, the DSG of UN, Her Excellency Amina, is coming to visit with them. And these women are so excited. The other day, through the Every Home a Garden project, we were able to introduce them to the Honorable Minister of State, because they themselves, in their backyards, right now through Akpu, they are building their homes. They are sending their children to school. They've created a whole, Kwali is an incredible woman economy. It's not just Akpu, it's the millet, It's the Guinea corn. It's the Ushafa women also doing the pottery that were able now to come up with rural economy, craft economies, women in economic value chains at very unique local levels. I don't call it local, because what you see them do is immediately for tourism. And if you package the market and market the package, then it becomes African free trade.
As we wrap up, what should the women of the FCT be thinking about when it comes to your office? What are you going to be doing for them?
Well, I just like
in the next
women,
at least before the area council elections are next year.
Yes, exactly. But even before then, what I say is, we're here for you. Every woman has a story, has a need, has a prayer. We are your go-to space and place. Whether it's about GBV, whether it's about working an economy for your spouse, or because as a caregiver, you find women don't just do caregiving for their children and for their spouses. It's for the aged parents, or it's for someone in the community. You have all of this. You have needs. Yes, we can't answer everyone's need, but what we're saying is that come to us, and we're able to start, because that's what we're doing.
How can they
we
reach
have
you?
We have set up Area 10. Please come to Area 10.
Is there a phone number?
There is a phone number which I will give to you. 0807-811-1126. That is 0807-811-1126. It's in Area 10. That's where we have the Women Affairs Office in the Area 10 Cyprian Equency building.
Okay.
And along with SDS, until by the intervention of the Honorable Minister of the FCT, I'll be happy to welcome you all to the commissioning of the FCT Women Affairs Secretariat. Remember, he's Mr. Project. Even women are #1 project when it comes to FCT.
That's where we have to anchor it. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you very,
Dr.
very much.
Dr. Laniyi, for being with us on this program. And good luck with all the work you have ahead of you.
Thank you. And please, like I've told her, we'd like you to please join us on the field.
I shall be there.
Thank you.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screens. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Magwa. See you next time.